Hi, welcome to my how-to movie. I'm going to show you how to operate open camera on my Samsung because I don't have a video camera to talk about. So let's get cracking and straight into it. Okay, I've opened up open camera in my Android, and there's the first screen you get. It's got menus around the edge, so going from the bottom over here, that's the white balance lock. This is the exposure lock. This is for adjusting your exposure. This one here is to adjust the look of the film that you're wanting to shoot. This is your general controls. This is the stored videos that you've just shot. This is if I want to change over. At the moment I've got it set for video here, but if I want to change over to just taking a photograph, there's the camera. This is so that I can reverse the camera and rotate it. Down here is the zoom slide so that I can come in closer or out away from the subject. So the first thing we're going to do is to go into the settings over here to set up all the things. There's a lot of stuff in there, and there we go. And so we're not going to be able to organize all of them. I'll put this up this way so we can see it properly. So there's our setting control. So now we'll get started. So first we've got to set the video resolution, and the highest that I can go on this camera is 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to leave it there because that's the very best that I can get. Okay, so now we need to select the format of the video. So let's go in here, video format. So here we've got the settings for the video format. So I'm going to leave that set to default. The next one to set is this video bitrate. It's way down on the list, right down here. And so we're going to go in there. The suggested best setting here would be for 50, so I'm going to do what's been suggested, so I've put it for 50. Apparently that gives you a good quality video without taking up too much file space. You can go really higher if you want really top rate quality, but just for general work and so that you're not wasting up too much space, 50 is apparently your safest betting. And definitely don't go above 100 on a smartphone. So next we're going to go to the video frame rate, which is right here. So on here you can select the number of photos or frames per second. They've got a default, I'm not quite sure what that is, but you can go from 15 right up to 120. I think I'll go for 24, which is a fairly standard frame rate. Now another good idea is to check how long you want your video to be, because nothing worse, if I can actually find it, oh here it is, maximum duration of video, because nothing worse than leaving it set for 5 minutes and then you're trying to film for 10 minutes and it cuts out halfway through. So I'm going to leave it here at unlimited. You'll notice it goes up to 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but I just am leaving mine on unlimited, so it's up to me when I turn everything off. So now let's go and see what else we've got here. Maximum file size, that's a good one. Yeah, look, I don't know much about this, but I reckon I'll just stick with the device default for that. That means, once again, it's not going to switch off halfway through the recording. You've got a record audio when recording, so I'd have that switched on because I want to have the audio when I'm recording. Makes sense. You can usually select the recording device, but I don't see that here. It'll just automatically use the microphone in here. So at the moment I'm not sure if I was using an external microphone. I don't know how to organize that with this device, but I'm sure there's a way, so I'd have to Google that. Okay, so I reckon, just looking through here, that's all the video settings that I need to look at. So let's go back and see what else we've got. So the next thing to look at, let's have a look at on-screen GUI. So this is going to tell you what the app's going to look like. So you can add on extra icons onto the screen if you want to. So let's see what we've got here. Don't want that, don't want that. No. Oh yeah, maybe that because it's necessary. So I'm going to click that. I want to show the auto white balance and I want to show the auto exposure. So I've switched those on. Sorry, that's the white balance lock and the auto exposure lock. They're the only things that I'm going to customize here for the moment. I might need something else later. Oh yes, I've got to show the zoom slider. So let's go back to the main screen that I had before. So yeah, here we are once again back on the main screen, and you'll notice there's that white balance lock that I'd pointed out before that I turned on. So everything's set up the way I think I want it. Now I think the next step is to make sure that we've got the shot set up so we know what it's going to look like. So let's see what we do here. So at the moment everything's set up to record on automatic mode, which is fine I guess for some things, but the problem is that as you keep going and the camera moves around and you change focus and things, all sorts of stuff changes. So what you want to do is be able to make sure that you don't have all this chop and change going on in the look of the film. So what we need to do is to lock down our exposure here, this exposure adjustment thing. So when I do that, there's a little sliding scale thing here, so I can take it lower in exposure or higher in exposure. So I'm going to set it around about there. That's a happy medium for me, and then I can just click on here and lock it in, and that's my exposure set. And have a look at the white balance. So what we've got there, we've got auto, incandescent, fluorescent, daylight, cloudy, and then color effects underneath. So the point is that if I don't lock that in when I've got the shot that I like before I start shooting, then every time I change the shot or look somewhere else or move the camera, the whole look's going to change. So really you've got to lock it in once you've decided what look you like, and it'll stay that way. Well, there you go, that's the best I could do. As you can see, I'm still a bit confused about all the ins and outs of the bits on here, especially the focus settings. So I'm looking forward to exploring all the possibilities there to find out how to use it better. So I hope you enjoyed my exploration of all the bits and pieces on Open Camera, and I'll leave you there.